only to get alerts that I would have made a fucking 300% or like.
But you only trade one pair, which is good because then you know the volume.
Yeah.
It's all based on market structure. So you know when once we get like a, because you do support resistance for some demand, so you know if it's gonna hit that level.
Yeah.
Once that, because it usually has like a small window, that 1 hour per day on average, like one in the morning and then one in the afternoon.
Yeah. The good thing with like SPY, SPX is like if you do the, on Sunday, if you just draw your levels and you do like on daily candles, you'll get a good idea of like where it's going to bounce and where it's going to, where the support.
Yeah, you're looking at it every day. Yeah, absolutely. Which time frame you say you're
8 minutes. I do 8 to 5 when I'm entering a trade, but like here, dailies.
Daily? You look at the daily? Okay.
I know if it breaks that daily up or down, where it's going.
Yeah.
On the previous candles.
Right.
I sleep 100 bricks they could do up and then my insurance. My insurance was up by 5 minutes.
And you can move this like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. Let's get up on it yesterday.
So when it breaks, you can go up and move it. So when it breaks, how much is Apple for?
Well, so you can just skip it.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Because remember,
He's adjusted. It's like okay.
Yeah. Test. Mic check. Good? No, you're good, man. You're good. We just kind of put that out there so everyone could kind of see it. Yeah, I'll take some.
Imagine you still had your Tesla books.
All right, sweet. Everyone can hear me? Sweet. Let's make sure everyone in Discord can hear me. Yeah, you guys can hear me. You see the Travis Scott's, Tyler? All right, cool. So welcome in, guys. We're gonna do a trade breakdown, a trade recap of Meta today. I want to show you guys how I found it, what I looked for at open, how I prepared for it, and show you what the results were. Hang on one second. Here we go. Cool. All right, guys. So coming into the open, and we talked about it here. You guys knew what I was looking at. You knew why I was looking at Meta, but I want to break it down for you a little bit further to show you how you can find these exact same setups going into any day of the week. So coming into the open, right, when we were looking at Meta, we knew that we had relative strength on Meta. We knew that everything was up due to the data that came out this morning in pre-market. And with Meta, the having a system and doing this every single day. And if you can do this every day, you'll have the opportunity to do just that. And I know Chris was it 80% on Meta this morning? Yeah. So 80%. It ended up it's probably over 200% right now. I'm out of it at this point, but finding these setups every single day, guys, is not hard to do. It's just a matter of putting all these pieces together, finding the trend, finding the momentum, and then playing trend structure and price action, which I know Gus does a really good job at. Wherever Gus is out, Gus is back there. He does a good job with trend structure and price action, and he'll talk about that today too. But for me, that's really what I'm looking for. And so this is kind of what we do every day, right? So let me share with you guys. Let me stop sharing that screen, and let me share with you guys another screen. I want to show you. Let's see if I can pull this up. Entire screen share. There we go. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Hang on one second. Oh, hang on. It looks like I can only share Google Chrome. That's okay. What I was going to show you guys is just how the watch list is set up. So let me just talk through it one more time on. Oh yeah, it's not sharing right now. Yeah. I'm going to share my. Hang on one second. I'm going to go back to trading view. I want to show you guys. There we go. Should be back on now. Okay, so this is back on the meta chart, right? But when I make my watch list every morning, you guys that are here with us in person, you saw how I made the watch list. You saw what I was looking for. This is really what it is. Meta was a great example of it, but you guys noticed how every single chart that we looked at, we talked about tech being bullish today, or I was bullish on tech into the open based on what happened. And every single chart looked exactly the same. And now what we have with Meta is relative strength. And I think the big reason we have relative strength is because we have that psych dollar, that 370 whole psych dollar level. So this is kind of how I build my watch list. This is how I take my trades. This is how I execute. And as a trend trader, this is a beautiful chart to look at because you guys can see we're just riding the EMA, the 9 EMA that I like to trade with, all the way up. We made higher highs in pre-market, higher lows, higher highs here, higher lows. Lisa, wherever Lisa's at, we were talking about entries, right? So like the entry here, I said these are the 2 candles I would look to be getting in back into Meta on right here once we can confirm that we're rounding and holding these EMAs, and we're just looking for a new high, right? We push back up towards that that high of day. We pull back again, and then we make a new high, and Meta, like I said, 377, 378 was the target for me long term on Meta today if we continue to push higher. So simple trade recap, simple trade breakdown. I'm glad I took this trade. I'm glad it did what it did because this is the exact type of trade that I like to take every single day. And these are the types of setups. If you guys take these, it's kind of impossible to lose if you put all these pieces together and have the risk management in place. Not 100% win rate, but when we do win, if you manage the risk, use the EMAs, that's the way to do it. So the other key thing here is a lot of people say, how do you stay in your trades longer? It's the price targets, but then it's also just using the trend structure in EMAs. Technically speaking, right, none of these candles or the trend of the day is still up. So like if you're a trend trader, you can just continue to ride this all the way up until this 9 EMA breaks or until trend structure breaks, like it did today on SPY. SPY broke down and people got in puts and made some money. Meta never really broke down fully. We broke down a little bit and then held the EMAs and then continued to push higher. So that's kind of my breakdown on Meta, kind of how we prepare for pre-market. So those of you that are in here, like, are there any questions on like how to get better at building your watch list, how to get better at what to look for? I know a lot of you guys had questions because you asked me. Yeah, what's up, Larry?
Hammering off the 9 EMA. What is that a symbol of? Like, what does that mean? I have an idea, but I kind of want to.
So hammering, when I say hammering off the 9 EMA, is essentially what that is it's a hammer candle off the 9 EMA, and the hammer candle is a bullish candle, right? So the reason hammer candles are bullish is because what that's told us, and we have an example right here. It's a little hard to see, right?
I'm looking at it on my chart.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So essentially, we have we've got a hammer, like a handle on the bottom, a hammer on the bottom, and then at the top we have kind of like the actual hammer itself. And so what that's told us is that sellers have tried to push us down, but buyers bought us right back up. So when we came down to the 9 EMA, the sellers pushed us onto the 9 and the buyers took us right back up over the 9, which is good confidence for me. Again, I don't have a 100% win rate, but I feel like I'm right more than I'm wrong. And even if you're not, even if you have a 50% win rate, if you can keep your risk to reward pretty tight, you can make a lot of money. So hammering off the 9 is just came down to the 9 EMA and then they pushed us back up higher. I try to keep trading super simple. There's a lot of like iron condor strategies and like complex things that you can learn on the school of YouTube for free, which all of us have probably done. When you're like, hey, how to day trade, how to trade options, go to YouTube and learn all the stuff that you are never going to use. For me, I just try to cut out all the fluff and get right to like, how do we make money? For me, being a trend trader, like Meta was a perfect example today of how to make money.
Another question. The volume that's at the bottom, how do you see how much is actually in, because I think I can see this on my computer, but on my phone, maybe it's not showing it. But the volume that's in the candle, you can see that, right?
Yeah, you can see the volume on the candle. So you just hover over the candle and you'll see how much volume is on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see one here, 400 or 1,000. So when you see this, like a big red candle, I mean, you're like a big deal and more volume being in a red candle than in a green candle.
Honestly, when it comes to volume for me, and Gus might have a different take on this, or like Max or even Mr. 28 back there. Like for me with volume, I know a lot of traders use volume, but for me, like very rarely do I look at volume and say I'm not entering this trade because of the volume. But there are times where I'll say there's like it's a low.
That's why.
I know I'm fat, but damn, hit the angle a little different.
How's that?
All right, baby.
Let's turn this down.
Got me looking massive over this motherfucker. There we go.
There, and then you want there.
Perfect.
There you go.
We're in business. Damn, SPX just dropped. Damn. All right. Who's ready to learn some shit? I'm going to rock you guys right now. I guarantee you none of you have ever taken something that I'm about to show you. This is a very unique thing that I built, this little approach to understanding candlesticks. It's the basics of fucking trading. The first thing you ever learn, what's a candlestick, right? I'm going to show you a unique way to look at them and assess them and understand how you can do at quick glance understanding of candlestick analysis and patterns. It's how I developed. You guys saw earlier on my charts, no indicators, no nothing. There's candles and lines. You guys got something more important you want to come share? You guys good? Okay. So you good? Can I just get like 10 minutes of your time? Appreciate that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come to the daily chart on SPX. Who's got the balls to take the max challenge, first of all? Who wants to come up here and see if they can win it? Someone. We got to have one volunteer. Someone's got to tell. All right there. Perfect. Here's what I want you to do. We got all these random days here, right? I'm not even going to look. You say stop. Anywhere. Hit stop.
Stop.
Bang. We're on a random day, right? None of us remember unless there's a super genius in here like the dude from Suits, none of us know what the hell happened on that day, right? Let's go ahead. Let's open this up. And first thing we're going to do on the replay function is we're going to see the first candle of the day. First candle of the day comes out. We're going to come here to our trend lines. Does everyone remember what the first 15-minute candle, what we're marking right here? That is your order. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to zoom. we're going to zoom in a little bit. And what we need to find now is our previous highs and our previous lows. So we got a previous high there, and we got a previous low there. And then I like to do my previous higher highs and my previous lower lows. These are just an additional level of resource that we could use to establish support and resistance. Normally I color code each and one of them, but for today, just to keep it quick, I'm going to bar replay cannot be connected. What does that mean? Here we go. All right. So here's the test. I'm going to do one, and then you have to get 4 out of 5 right on your own. You have to bat 80% or better to be successful at this. And this is for everyone. Everyone can have their own, think about it in your head as you do this, right? There's 2 pieces of information we get from the first 15-minute candle. This should sound familiar to some of you. What are the 2 pieces of information we get from this first 15-minute candle?
Area, right?
What?
Area of direction.
Not necessarily the area of direction. What do we got? Gap up. Is it a gap up? Let's look at the day before. Do we have a gap up? Or do we have a lap up because the daily bar is inside yesterday's bar? Technically, we have what's called an inside day as of now. So yes, we have a gap in the price action on the smaller time frames. If we go to the daily chart, there will be no gap. That's called a lap. It has a different set of statistics and a style you need to trade it. What's the second piece of information we get from this candle? And I'll zoom in a little bit so everyone can get a pretty good look at it.
Trend.
Not the trend. You can't get a trend from one candle.
Oh, yeah.
If it's bullish or not?
If it's bullish or not. The first candle provides us with 2 pieces of information. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Is it neutral? And did we have a gap or lap or not? That's really all we can assess from this first candle, the piece of price action, right? Looking at this candle right now, what are you? Are you bullish, bearish, or neutral?
Bullish.
You're bullish. All right. Can you explain why?
Because the
Don't say because it's green. We'll get a new volunteer up here if he says because it's green.
We are, I don't know.
I would say it's a neutral candle because if we look how the candle evolved, you could see that it started low, had some significant buying pressure, but how did the candle close? With a greater than a 50% wick, which means sellers were in charge when this candle closed. Naturally, when I see something like this, I would be surprised if the next candle was not red. So let's see what happens. Point proven. Does everyone see that?
Right.
You could take a look at this. Now, what does this candle have? We had a neutral candle and we had a secondary candle. What does this secondary candle show us? Most important piece of information. We're headed back towards that lap, are we not? Heading back towards the lap and fading the lap, heading it and filling it is a piece of crucial information you should all have in the back of your mind, even if you have something as small as 2 or 3 points. Secondly, what do we notice about this candle? It's bearish. It closed outside of orb. It had a lower low. It has a lower high. All 4 confirmations that I personally need to make entry on a trade like this. And the only thing we see is a little bullish candle right there. What I would do right now, if I'm trading this live, is I would sell calls with all 4 confirmations, and I would be looking for the 45.90 price right there. It could reverse, and I would want to just see possibly a newer low. Let's see. So we don't get faked out and reversed in the market. Patience is key. A lot of you saw me sitting here doing nothing for the first hour and 15 minutes today, and then I entered, and then my play is at 100% gains already. I've done nothing today. So let's take a look at the next candle, see if we really get all those confirmations that we're looking for. Now what? Oh, shit.
We filled the gap.
Unfortunately, none of us can predict the future. We didn't fill no gap. That's the gap. So
okay.
what did we see? Now we see a newer high, a higher low, and the break back in the orb. I'm about to say a sentence that all of you should keep in the back of your mind and use forever. You ready for this? Nothing is more bullish than a failed bearish pattern, and nothing is more bearish than a failed bullish pattern. When they break to the reverse side, now you have to play accordingly. I will sell puts now instead because of this one candle that just confirmed everything I needed to know on the day. I would think with a candle like that, a full green stick, we're going to have a continuation to the upside. So now I'm going to sell puts near the gap fill, and we're going to watch this day play out without interruption. We got to break back down, reverse off of orb. And now we're sitting at about 2 o'clock. What do you guys think my put sides are sitting at? 100% gains. Does everyone see that?
Yep.
3 o'clock, We're not even close. Here we go. And boom, that's the next day right there. Does everyone see how easily you can determine a trend day? You cannot predict a reversal unless you're patient enough to visualize it, see it, fuck your own fundamental bias. How many of you said today, oh, we're going to be bullish today? Maybe the market's going all-time high. It's okay if you had that thought, but if you act on that thought, that's when you're going to start losing. You need to have a greater psychology of, I don't care what happens until I see it happen, and then you jump on the train as it starts moving. So right there, we're 1 for 1. Easy. For me as an option seller, I just had one of the easiest days I've ever had because the market dropped once and then nothing happened. So now all I have to do is move my lines a little bit. You have to excuse me. I'm a little left-handed. You know what I mean? There we go. So now all I have to do is move my lines to assess my new orb. You get a cheat here, all right? I'm going to do, you want me to do one more?
Yeah.
You feeling all right? You want me to do one more? So I'm going to move my lines up. We'll find a previous high, higher high somewhere, but this is what we're looking at. First candle gives us 2 pieces of information. What are the 2 pieces of information? We did not have a lap or a gap. We have a very bullish looking candle. Right now, I would be bullish with no gap or lap. Even though the secondary candle's red, it's an inside bar candle. The third candle to me could be very green. Could be a breakout top side of the orb, could be a 3-bar play, very green. Let's take a look and see what happens. There you go. Candlestick analysis is the root of what trading is. Without hesitation now, what am I going to do as an option seller? I'm going to sell puts. I want people to think, you know how, oh, it's gone too high. It can't go any higher. It's got to tank all the way back down. I'm going to sell all the way. Probably I would move this line up. We want to be a little bit more fluid and realistic. And I would probably come to what's called the half gap as my level of stop. So now I would sell puts, and let's see what happens for the rest of the day. And I can do that looking at 2 or 3 candles. Here's another test down to orb. This is a very volatile day. You can tell by the size of those candlesticks. Those are not normal candlesticks. So could have had some CPI, some sort of unforeseen news events, things like that. But we've come to 2 o'clock, and it looks like we're creeping on a newer high here, and our puts are at 100% gains again. That's an easy 2 for 2 for me as an option seller, and that's why I boast a very nice 93% success rate, using statistics, using data, using my eyes to understand what's going on. We move our lines down. It's your turn to rock, baby.
Okay.
All right, you got to get 4 out of 5 to pass the max stress test. All right?
I'm already stressed.
I'm already stressed for you. If you guys didn't know, I have over $17,000 in collateral trading right now. Right now, I have over 17K. Does anyone got more than me open right now? I probably give less fucks than all of you too, because of the system and the governing body that I put in place around my strategy that I trade. We're going to talk, once we finish this, I want to just talk to you a little bit about psychology and we'll move on. All right. You're on the gun, baby.
Okay.
You're on the gun. We got something tight here. I would be zooming all the way in to find the next level of resistance, but it looks like we're gonna have to go back about 2 years. So I'm just picking random shit for you right now. Not the correct way, but a way. All right, what do you got? Give me the 2 pieces of information you see from the first candle.
Which is this one, right?
Yep.
That's a bullish candle.
Bullish candle, okay. And then what else? Snapchat ain't gonna help you.
No, I'm not in that.
What do you got?
So we have a bullish candle, and
What's the other piece?
lap up.
Do we or do we not?
No, it's not a lap
There's
up.
no lap or gap. Perfect. That's the only things you can really assess from the first candle is, are we looking bullish, bearish, neutral? Do we have a lap gap, any other outside circumstances that could affect the whiplash of the price action as it comes? So let's show you the next candle. What do you got there?
We have another green candle.
Okay.
But I'm a little neutral here.
You get neutral as we go higher. Why?
Because of the wicks.
Okay. The wick is a bullish wick, but the top has buying pressure.
Right. It's like hitting resistance, right?
Could be the top
Yeah.
of orb. Yeah, absolutely. You could absolutely be correct. And then the next candle could be a fat red. What I see, if you look at the candle, you break down 4 parts of every candle. Is there a higher high? Is there a higher low? Use the wicks. People who said we don't use wicks is fucking stupid. Did it break the key level that we charted, the orb? And does it confirm the previous candle? How many of you heard your Furu say the word confirmation? Oh, we hit confirmation. We got confirmation, right? What the fuck does confirmation mean? Because I'll tell you right now, it's different for everybody. For me, confirmation means that the previous candle or two represents what the current candle is showing. Is that trend confirmed? And we can't do that with one candle or one touch of a support and resistance zone. You need multiple pieces of data to put the puzzle together. So right now, would you be looking to enter call sides or put sides as an option seller? When I don't do options buying. If you were to sell options, and remember it's backwards, selling calls is a naturally bearish position, selling puts is a naturally bullish position. What do you feel like this is? You have anything yet or no trade yet?
I'm selling.
Hold on, you don't have to. You can say no trade yet.
I'm a little bit of a front runner, and I probably shouldn't trade here, but I'm gonna tell you what I think. I would sell calls.
You would sell calls.
Yeah.
Okay, you're locked in on that?
Unfortunately.
All right, let's see what happens for the rest of the day. Okay. It's looking not good for you right now. Wait, there you go. This is a perfect example of something else I'll show you guys when it comes to turning a single leg legging into an iron condor. You may have gotten that. And
it's my 100% right there.
No, that's the opposite. You're dead.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So I should have sold puts.
You lost today. Yeah.
Damn.
So you got smoked. Oh yeah. You got absolutely fucking dusted. Yeah. Your Discord, you just lost multiple members.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's take another look. The reason that you lost that one was you were impatient, wanting to make a decision quickly. The third doji candle, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth breakout candle, I would have started selling puts.
Right.
But I have a level of patience that most people don't have. When you're in the military, I was 5 years active duty paratrooper. You ever heard of the term hurry up and wait? You show up at fucking 3 a.m. for an event that doesn't start till 8 p.m. So you have to have a very special level of I can fuck off and do nothing until something happens.
Wow.
All right, you're 0 for 1. If you miss one more, you fail the max challenge. All right? And when I teach this live to my students, I make them go 9 for 10. So I'm giving you slack here.
Okay.
Here we go. You got this. Is everyone following along? Does someone else feel more confident now? If he fails out, we got to replace him. Who else can step up to the plate?
Was anybody else thinking to sell calls or just me? Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right. I'm going to give you, let's see, the price action is at 46.09. So a standardized 1 point move would be 46 points on top of that. So I'm going to give you a huge benefit of the doubt right now. We're going to move that stop. Look, I gave you a wide field here. All right. Talk to me about the first candle of the day. And now as I'm doing this, you guys all in your head, right? What are the two pieces of information that we can get? And what are you guys thinking right now in your head? So participate. Think about it. What are the two pieces of information? What do you got?
More bearish.
Your bearish candle, right? I think we would all mutually agree this is a pretty bearish candle. And then what else?
We gapped up a little bit.
We didn't gap up at all. We did the opposite with a different term.
Can you explain what's the difference between a gap and a lap?
Yes. If this first candle here was above yesterday's price action, that would be a gap up. But since we dropped back into yesterday's price bar, that's called a lap down.
Okay.
On a larger time frame, I'll show you right now exactly what I mean. But on a larger time frame, you would not see a gap in the price action on the chart. That's what I'm referring to. So there's no gap. There's no true gap in this at all. It's called a lap because it's minor and it's within the previous candle's bar. Okay. So that's why we call it a lap and not a gap. Does everyone get that?
Okay.
It's it's a very simple terminology, but it should be used and it should be understood. Gap and lap are two different things, and you have to use the data and the statistics on those to approach them differently. So we're bearish and we got a lap down, right? You think you can make a decision now?
No, not yet.
All right, let's see what we got.
Candle.
Next candle. Oh, I hit play. Hold on. Oh. Don't look. All right. You know what? Fuck it. We'll leave it. What do you got?
I mean, that looks like confirmation.
All confirmations.
Yeah,
now, name me all 4 confirmations that were on this candle. Let me back that replay up a second. What just happened? Hold on, let me back the replay up. Oh fuck! I exited the whole thing.
You got to start over.
Max just lost his own challenge. Quick intermission. Take 5. Look at your phones. We're just going to go back to a random day in this consolidation period.
Okay.
All right, you're going to start over. We're close, but we're not where we were. All right, here we go. First candle of the day. And we'll just do this last one. I don't want to hold you too long. I could literally do this for 3 hours and show you guys so much shit. All right. This is a very unique looking setup because we have a ton of price action here. All right, here we go. Talk to me. We're going to get, oh, this is the daily chart. Hold on. Let's hit the next day. Bang. Everyone in this room should immediately just formulated what they think is a bullish or bearish move and another piece of information. What's the second piece?
Whether there's a gap or a lap.
And what do we got right there? We got a gap, right? Why? You see? Because you see the previous day? That candle price action is outside of that previous day.
The
All
orb?
Right? Not the orb. The orb's right here. We just
Right.
created the orb. The orb is the first 15-minute candle highs and lows. So let's take a look right here. What's the next candle? What do we got from this?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's talk it out now. Do we?
Well,
What do we have? Let's talk out. We want 4 pieces of information to really understand if it's a trend or not. Well, what do we have here?
It's broken out of the orb. Right?
Okay, but did it close outside of the orb?
No, it didn't.
Okay, what else do we have? Someone help him out. What else do we have?
I need some help.
We have a higher low, and what else? You mean you got one piece of them? What's the other one? Higher low and
A higher high.
a higher high. Does that candle confirm the previous candle's price data?
Yes. It does.
All right. So what are we rocking? 3 of the 4 confirmations. Are we good to enter?
No.
Yes.
Fuck no.
No.
4 for
It needs
4
4.
or nothing at all.
Or nothing.
A plus or we fail.
So what's the next confirmation?
Let's wait and see. Let's take a look at the next candle.
Boom.
What you think about it now?
Smoke me.
What's the sentence I told you guys not to forget? Nothing's more bearish than a failed bullish movement. We just absolutely ruptured orb. We have a lower low, a lower high, a close outside of orb, and this candle rejected both of the previous. We have what's called a tweezer top potentially there. I'm willing to say more than anything, this is what kind of day?
Yeah, bearish day.
Bearish. And if I'm an option seller, I'm going to sell some calls, right? Don't matter. Oh, the statistical data on gaps varies, correct. But right, for this demonstration alone, that data is irrelevant. We're playing the candlestick price. This is candlestick analysis solely. If you wanted to get into data and statistics, I could nerd the fuck out and pull up spreadsheets and chart. I mean, I love doing that shit. So we sold some calls. 1030 gap rule is in effect, and that usually states that if we don't create a newer high, it's going to what? Fade the gap. Nice V-shaped reversal right on the gap. That was that whiplash I spoke about earlier. Normally when we have gap fills, you'll see an immediate whiplash behavior. There's a buy order, supply, demand, resistance, whatever fucking word you call it, trying to get fancy. It's all the same thing. And boom, there's the next day. So that's a pretty clean cut one. So tell me how I can look at 2 to 3 candles a day and I can predict an entire trend and I can profit from it. When most of you stare at a screen for 9 hours a fucking day and you fight the trend and you don't understand the price action. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah, that's me.
Simplistic, basics, easy, no indicators, no noise. It's all about understanding. And something like this, I could do this all day long. And if I did 100 of them, statistically, I would hit 92.8 of them. And something like that can benefit you guys, even as options buyers, understanding a trend, understanding how to play the trend, and understanding when the trend that your bias was is broken. If you're holding calls and you understand that it's broken, all of you should have jumped out on that third candle and never even thought about a call for the rest of the day if you're an options buyer. So it does translate over into the buying world. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
It needs to be one, and then I'm gonna close that out there. I hope you guys enjoyed that little demonstration. I could do that for hours and tell you what the next candle is going to be. It's like picking a card without looking at it. It's very fun, but it's so important to understand the basics of tug of war. That's what we're doing as traders. We're trying to play tug of war with the winning team. Whenever the big money's on the left, we probably want to grab the rope on the left. That's what trading is. So now let's talk about psychology. I just told you I have the largest trade open in this room right now, but I'm probably the most laid back, chilled person. And it's because I took 3 Xanax. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The reason is because what? I designed a trading strategy that governs and systems my trades with or without me being there. I have a stop loss in place. You know how I consider a stop loss? Cutting a bad trade should feel good to you. Let me say that again. Cutting a shit trade should feel good to you. How many of you guys have gone for a run? You get to the starting line. You're like, oh, I got to take a shit. I'm hungry. I don't want to run. This sucks. My legs hurt. I didn't stretch. It's miserable. But when you finish that run, how many of you felt the same way? Nobody. You feel wonderful. I'm glad I did that. I got it done. I completed a goal. I got a little dopamine hit. You feel wonderful. I'm going to go shower and tell people how great I just ran. That's what cutting a loser should feel like, the end of the run and not the beginning. You need to get your mindset to the point where cutting a loser feels good. It's okay to lose. You have to understand that. You have to have acceptance and commitment to understanding yourself and knowing that cutting a loser is okay. I even to this day will pace around my house and say, losing is okay. Losing is okay. You take that dictator in the room in your mind that's telling you average in, go all in, hold it till it's at 0, and you stand next to that motherfucker and you say, it's okay. We're just going to cut this one. And it's going to feel hella good. And when you get to that point, you're going to see a tremendous difference in your psychology and trading. I always like to say your trading plan should be black and white. I took a piss 15 minutes ago. What did I do after I took a piss? I flushed the toilet. Who in here doesn't flush the toilet? Anyone? No, because it's secondhand subconscious nature for you to do that. You piss, you flush the toilet. Doesn't matter if you're hitting it with a foot, doesn't matter if you're hitting it with an elbow or a hand, you do it, right? Maybe not at like some festival where you're fucked up, but why is that? Why do we flush the toilet immediately after we piss, but we don't follow our trading plan, black and white? There's no difference. You have to understand that when you set something for yourself, it's to help your future self succeed. And so if you have it, you need to have the discipline to follow it. If you don't have the discipline to follow it, figure out a way to grow that self-awareness in which you do. I did more than 30,000 push-ups in my trading career because that was my thing coming out of the military. Like I'll drop and give myself 20 if I fuck up a trade. And damn, did I do a lot of push-ups in 2019. I was looking good, boy. I was looking real good. You guys need to know yourselves more than you understand the charts. The charts aren't going to make you rich. Knowing yourself and self-awareness will make you a good, profitable trader. Understanding the psychology and building a system around your trading plan that governs it in totality that you follow will make you a successful trader. I have a little note on my desk that says everything I do it for my wife and myself. And that's the most important thing that I can give you guys is if you start learning yourself and you know how to overcome those thoughts, those emotional reasons why we lose, the big 3, right? Greed, fear, and hope. You overcome that and you'll be able to do this. I have been doing this full time for 5 years, profitable, 6 to 7 figures. I am a high school dropout. I am a college failure. I joined the military because all I could do is do fire ass shit like that because I'm not a nerd. I can't do school. It's too much. If I can do it and I can sit up here and teach this with that much clarity to you guys, then I promise you every one of you in this room is smarter than me. You're better than me. And you probably have more potential than I was supposed to have. Yet I'm sitting here saying this and you guys can be too. Remember that. And if no one's told you, I'm proud of you all for showing up here today. It's an amazing support. I really appreciate you all. Strat really appreciates you all. And I promise you the next one will just be bigger, fucking better, and we'll show you bigger and better, greater things to help you all succeed. Thank you very much.
right, guys. Max is amazing. And that was awesome. I even learned something. So awesome job, Max. So let's get our next guest up here.
Yeah, good luck fucking following that.
Yeah. Next guest is gonna be a good buddy of mine, Wall Street Goat, Gus. Get him up here. Do you want to connect yours in? All right. He's going to connect his in. We're going to go on like a 2-minute little intermission here while he gets connected in, and we'll be right back.
SPX futures are, SPY is not, because SPY has individual stocks. So any underlying asset that has individual stock is not cash settled. You can't buy shares of SPX.
Hey, what's up, guys? So earlier we caught 60. Well, most of my position sizes what I took off was 60% on Tesla calls, and we caught SPY puts with my boy over there in the back. So again, part of the trading strategy I use is confluence, right? You got to understand that the market is like here. I can show you a visual. Here's a heat map, and this is the exchange traded funds. But this is the S&P 500, right? If you guys ever traded SPY, if you guys, what Max was mentioning, collecting premiums on SPY, there's several strategies, right? You guys got to understand that options is a timing game. You got to time your move from a certain pivot, right? You got to understand that the market, where does it have relative strength? Where does it have relative weakness? And then you go sector by sector, right? Because you obviously, if you're trading options, you want to be in sectors that are most liquid, right? You want to be trading momentum, and that's how you will profit in options, right? And so what I did is I built this custom script right here, which this script literally gives you like the highs, right? Obviously, I still get my key areas, my key levels that I update on my Discord every morning, but this right here is like telling you where are we at in the market. Like ultimately, right here, this is the ES, right? And it moves the same way with SPY. As you guys can see right here, this is the Monday high. We've been holding the Monday high, right? So I'm relatively less inclined to take a short here intraday because we're still holding this Monday high, which shows that the market is still developing. You can see this in the 1 hour time frame, right? We're accumulating here, right? What's happening here is that the market is accumulating here. And now what you're doing, this is the area in which a lot of traders, especially option traders, get, they get faked out, right? Because they're the assumption they're going to get a retest back to this area, but it's so tight. Like, can you really time a move with the market moving this tight? Obviously, I go more in depth, like measuring the tape and being able to see my bid and my ask assumptions to be able to see what is really that key area where sellers or buyers are actually stepping in, right? So, like today, this morning, I saw Tesla. I saw it pretty lucrative because the thing is that if we go back to the ES, right, and we turn on our custom scripts, we put up the 5-minute chart, we opened up and we were holding this previous week high, right? Earlier this morning, we were holding this previous week high, right? I told myself if we were to break the previous week high, I was looking to look for a long position, but on 0 days to expiration because I was looking for momentum. And I risked, I got 10 contracts. I risked my average was about $69, $690, right? The contracts went to $120 off this momentum spike, right? Resulting in 100%. Obviously, I only profited 60% because I sized out of it while the momentum is happening, if you guys get what I'm saying. So while this area was breaking, right, I decided to tag a lagger, right? Because, hey, market broke a previous week high. We're seeing that there's a lot of liquidity to the buy side. Now, what's happening here is that if we look at the 1 week performance here in the heat map, everything's strong, right? And a lot of people might say this is overextended or it might be this. I decided to trade Tesla because if you see, Tesla's the one with the most relative weakness, right? So if we're looking for more of a bounce play, I was looking. So if you guys see here on Tesla, and we're going to go ahead and turn on my script, right? I was looking at the opening print, which is this daily open zone, right? This daily open zone. I was watching how well were we going to hold that 220 area. When I entered, Tesla was trading at 221.80 earlier when we traded the Tesla 225 calls. And obviously, after this momentum, we were sizing out of the contracts, right? So, and then once I saw this area here, I started to see active sellers stepping in, right? I started to see active sellers stepping in, and I just decided to, like, even though we're above the previous week high, 0 days to expiration, I have 4 contracts. I just decided to cut the 4 contracts that I had of runners, right? Now, when I was looking for the puts, right, I was looking mainly at what the asks were looking like. Like how liquid was the ask? Like is this really sellers going to step in or not? One of the things that helped me get, stay in or, develop because from there we got the SPY puts is this uptrend on the volatility index, right? So when I'm trading options, I like to see the volatility index. You can see it right there. And when I'm measuring the volatility index, it's like, you usually have it like in a free fall area, or you usually have it in, it's like creeping up, right? Before you know, it's going to build momentum and retag this 14.22. Whenever the VIX goes up, the market sells down, right? Whenever the VIX goes down, the market goes up, right? So essentially using confluence trading has helped me, navigate myself into option trading. But ultimately, I feel that it's all about risk management. It's like if you're trading $1,000 account, what's your positioning size to be able to do this, right? Obviously, you can't have 100% success rate, right? You'd be, like best trader in the world, right? But it all comes down to risk management. I was talking to the guys in the back that if you're trading a $1,000 account and you take a $300 hit, and you add an extra zero, now you're taking a $10,000 account. It's this, if you're using the same risk management, now that $3,000 hit's probably going to hit you much harder, right? So again, being able to understand and navigate the markets is based on your personal risk management. Like how much can I risk in the markets? Whether you're selling premiums, whether you're trading futures, whether you develop the strategy that best works for you. But any questions? Anybody has any questions?
Max has a question.
Max, you got any questions? Any questions?
They told you what they say, Max? Volkswagen, pay attention.
Any questions?
What do you normally get most?
So I mean, it's just so I like right now I'm just selling premiums, right? So I'm selling premiums just because the market's in a very tight range. So whenever I identify the markets in very tight ranges, I like to sell, premiums because obviously with options you got to be very precise, and also the timing is like you got to get it. Like if you develop a price target, you got to be very, very meticulous towards where you're entering, where your exit is at. And to me, it's just I'd rather, I like trading options, right? I like trading, shorter expiration options, but I don't size crazy, right? Like, probably like my most position size is probably like 1,500, 1,200. But when I'm selling premiums, I like to build onto that side. Like right now, I'm selling call premiums based on what I'm seeing in the volatility index. And so, like as you guys can see here on the ES, it's a 4-hour time frame, and you can see it clearly that right here we are consolidating pretty tight, right? And so that's why I'm trading less. And obviously, like when I do my pre-market prep, I'm looking for stuff that are more liquid than others, such as like today the SQQQ had a lot of relative volume. And so what that means is that, that's a short index, right? So it was hinting me something that ticker was very liquid during the pre-market session. Usually the pre-market session is an extension of the actual of like when the market is current. So like, if anyone's interested in doing it, I usually do a pre-market prep call. I usually filter out the stocks that have the most liquidity and the less liquidity. Like right now I have this stock on watch. It's called JMPR. Obviously, this one, the reason why I have this one, because check this out. You look at this 4-hour time frame, you can see that, we got a bull flag here, right, on the high time frame. So this one's definitely, and it's building, it's been on my pre-market screener list for some time. So this was just waiting to break out. So, you take it day by day, right? And obviously you adapt to different strategies. Yeah, I take losses too, right? But it's being able to how to maneuver these losses with every experience the market gives you. Yeah. Any other questions? No questions?
We'll go into a panel discussion after.
All right.
So we'll do a big Q&A. But
All right.
that was awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
All right. So we're just gonna grab some of these bar stools up there. We have enough. And or we can even do chairs, honestly. We can grab these. So how many do we need? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would be good. And then one more, I think, is all we need.
You guys, I could unplug right now.
Set it up for him. I feel like I can run it. All right, so basically, I'll kind of like, are we on? Yeah, can everybody hear us? Sweet. Can you guys hear us? Everyone on stream? You just let us know in the comments if you can hear us. I think there's like a little bit of a delay. 22. All right, awesome. Yeah, you guys can hear us? Cool. Okay, sweet. All right. So, perfect. All right, guys. So we're going to start the panel discussion now. Basically, the way this is going to work is we're going to introduce everyone. You guys got to get a little bit of a masterclass from everyone, but I want you guys to understand who everyone is, what their backgrounds are. We've got a plethora of experience between all of us at all different levels, different strategies, things like that. So the goal here is to kind of normalize all of this stuff to everyone. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. So right here, this is Gus. Gus is in LA. Gus and I met probably last year on social media. And so you want to give yourself a little introduction?
So I've been trading the markets for like about 13 years now. I've been profitable for 5. It's like I got reeled into markets by, through penny stocks, and I lost a lot of money in penny stocks, and it just left me a bad taste with trading, right? I lost like 6 figures. It wasn't even my money, right? It was my dad's. And like, and I was like, fuck. So like, that was a really big burden during college, right? So like, so that was a big burden. I was like, Thanksgiving dinner, I was like the investor. Like my dad would joke about it. Here comes the investor, like, right? And then, I was like, man, I'm gonna show this guy that I could do it, So it's like, I took on, I was trading oil futures first. This was like the time when I graduated college, and I was working at Los Angeles County as a policy analyst for the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs, drafted minimum wage ordinance, and I was trading futures, right? I got like a little edge and this and that. Then my brother was like, bro, I'm trading options and I'm killing it. And I was like, this was like back in 2017. And I was like, he showed me, he was showing me how options work, like the timing of it and this and that. And I just did more research. And ever since then, I was just like, but my breakout option trade was in 2019 going into 2020. I had Tesla 1 year out, 1,000 calls. I bought it around the Cybertruck, like 40K, went crazy, like to $1 million, right? And I was like, whoa, well, I guess I could pay my dad back now, right? And then, like, he didn't even take the money, right? He left it in the Roth IRA account. And it was just, it was a pretty cool learning experience, and how the markets can change your life overnight, right? Like one day you could be in a very bad spot, one day you could be on top of the world, and then the next day you could be back into the bad spot. That's why, like, I really recommend, learning to spot opportunities in the market. Like, the day by day stuff is good, right? But that's where you have to really develop your most of your risk management. Spotting the opportunities is like developing that edge that works with you, right? You could do this with selling premiums. You could do this with like bottom ticking, like for example, the NQ October lows, unrealized, I was like negative $88,000. And, and I couldn't even fool that was unrealized, right? It was like the bottom, right? But it's like, if I had sized in less heavier, and that's been happening to me pretty often. If I had sized in a little bit less, I would have probably like pinpointed the bottom in the NQ, and it would have made more than what I bought, right? But it's like something that, we all have here, emotions, right? You guys all been in the trade. You guys get emotional at certain zones, right? Especially when our area hits, emotions start to come in. Another one was Tesla last year. When it was at 140, I started to do, 1 year out leaps. But I went, again, too heavy, and that drop kind of like, it kind of like was like, I obviously averaged down, but it was like, it's the emotional aspect of being caught up, because a 40-point difference is 40-point difference, and you're dealing with the emotions while that is happening, especially on a trade day size in. So definitely my best piece of advice is that, you know, if you think this is a good zone to size in patience, right? Especially in current markets, as we saw earlier in the 4-hour and the daily time frame, there's more consolidations happening for more days, and there's less breakout periods on higher time frames. So knowing that, I'm more meticulous in the type of trading style, which is less aggressive and more towards, you know, just following the current trend on a, you know, selling premium standpoint.
Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Any
guys.
questions?
We'll do a we'll do an introduction of everyone, and then we'll go straight into Q&A. So Max, you want to kick us off next?
Yeah. Max, you guys should all probably know who loudest motherfucker in the room, every room I've ever been in. Started off my career young. I was 18-year-old loser, man. Just fucking doing drugs and being a loser. And my brother Jimmy, who was a CEO at the time, said, "Why don't you try law enforcement now? I think you'd be good in it." So, all right, why not? So I cleaned up my act and I went to the correctional world. From the correctional world, sheriff, corrections, I did that for some years, and then I joined the military. After that, I did 5 years military police and got out, and I went straight into sales. I didn't know what else to do, but I'm a really good talker. So I went into sales, and I crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. Did 2.3 million in sales my first year. Never being a salesman a day in my life. Doing contracting, blue collar shit, where I can be unapologetically myself. And it worked out good for me. And I was always in shares. I like doing shares. Never really traded it for like, oh, I'm going to buy, you know, penny stock or something like that. I just was buying shares of shit companies that I used and I knew. Then my brother Dan was like, "Man, you should try options. The way you know math and shit, I think you'd be pretty good at it." And that was back in 2018. I said, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. I put 35 grand in an account, and that first week I made 40. And I said, "This ain't real money. This is fake." So I pulled it out, and the next week I made 45. So this isn't real money. And then I just bought leaps on Alibaba, Walmart, and Tesla. And all of those went to multiple 6 figures. I was like, this ain't real. This is like, I need to quit my job fucking real. So I went full time then, and I've never turned back. I think going on 6 years now, full-time trader. I've recently switched 3.5 years ago to options selling. As you guys all heard and know, I've written multiple books, guides on options selling and strategies. All my things that you can find that I know are on my YouTube channel. I try and put as much education out into the world for free. Like everything I demonstrated today, I put on YouTube for free just so I could help share as much knowledge as humanly possible to try and help aspiring traders like yourself succeed. But
your YouTube page,
Max Options Trading. Max Options Trading. You can Google it. Look me up anywhere on any platform. You'll see someone either. Yeah, I'm on anything any internet, social, anything. You type my name in, Max Options Trading. It'll pop right up. You'll see my face right on everything. So
sweet.
Truly, I would like to help you guys all succeed in any way possible. If you're passionate about trading, you can be a successful trader. You just have to, like I said earlier, know yourselves and really put in the hard work. You always hear people say the analogy, it takes 8-10 years to be a lawyer, a doctor, but Gus just said he went 13 years, and how many did he say? 8 of them he was not profitable. That's the discipline, that's the time it takes to succeed. So if there's anything I could do, any one of y'all to help succeed, please follow any one of my socials and send me a DM. You'll always get me on the line, no matter what, 100% of the time.
Sweet. Awesome.
Yeah,
Mr. 28.
Yeah, Mr. 28 on Twitter. My name is Danny. I've been trading for about 5 years now. First year, I didn't have any money. I was living at home, and the entire year was just me throwing my checks every week, and it was just like anytime I needed to refund my account, I'd have to throw the check in, and it was just blown accounts after blown accounts and blown accounts. And my parents really didn't have money. Now we have a family business that I help run still. I'm not full time yet, until I make sure that the business is well. And that first year, man, was tough because we had just started the business, right? We had just started the business, and I had just got into trading. First, I tried drop shipping, I tried wholesale real estate, I tried just regular real estate. Nothing really interested me until I started, this trading, right? The stock market. And then that first year was the toughest because we had just started that business. and you know, my dad was like, stop bullshitting with that. Like, you're losing all your money. You have nothing in savings. Like, you're still living at home. And I mean, I had just graduated high school, but still, you know, my plans weren't to go to college, right? I was like, no, I'm gonna do a business or something, figure something out. And he told me, he was like, stop with that bullshit, you know. And I had to tone it down, you know. And there was many times where I left just because that's what I wanted to do. And I told him, I'm like, look, this company can be doing millions, but I'm always gonna want to do something myself, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm not somebody who's like, just because our family business is doing, I'm going to be chilling here, just settling down, right? So it was a tough start, and you know, the second year things started to pick up, but I still wasn't profitable. And then the third year was when it really, everything started to click. And I'll say that I think it was the age as well. The age had a huge factor on, you know, I was so money hungry, right? And I was just big trades, home run trades, like. And then what really turned it around, and I think it's very, very important, was you know, I analyzed my situation. I'm like, okay, where am I at, right? How much money do I have, right? And when my goals aligned with my trading, that's when things changed, because I didn't have any money, right? $1,000 account. So what am I doing at that point? You know, logically, I'm not going to grow that account to $200,000. $100,000, right? So I started scalping. I switched from, you know, your regular day trades to scalping, and I was like, I'm gonna make sure, no matter what, to gain some momentum, gain some rhythm, is to lock in green trades. Just green. I just want, because my calendar was red, like 85% of my P&L calendar was red. Until I was like, you know what? If I'm not making any money at the end of the month, why can't I take $50 a day, right? Start off with $50 a day, $100 a day, and I'm making more than trying to hit those home run trades. Like, I'm green on the month, even if it's 1,100, 1,200, 1,500. You're changing the outcome from, you know, you trying to make $500, $600 a day to slowly but surely. And I can't stress enough how important that momentum is. When you start picking up momentum, that's when you can start sizing up. You start feeling a little bit more confident, not crazy size up, right? It's a very slow process if you're starting from nothing. If you're starting from a very tiny account and you're trying to grow it, your main goal should be to build that cushion. Build the cushion, because, and I'll say, you know, even to be shooting for like 2K a day, right? Things can go bad pretty quickly if you're not smart about it. You know, shooting for $1,000, $2,000 a day, and you don't have, like, you know, a really strict risk management where you respect stop losses and stuff. Things can go bad even if you have a $50,000 cushion, right? If you have $10,000 in your account, you blow it twice, right? That's $30,000 you only have now in your savings, and then I got to recover, right? Now you throw in another 10. Shit goes downhill again. Now you're stressed. Now you're bench trading, and you'll go downhill. It's a snowball effect. You'll keep going down. And the hardest part, I think, from a point like that where you're going down, is slowly start taking the steps back up instead of just trying to make that V-shaped recovery. And once I started to learn more about myself and my personality and what my goals actually were and what actually was driving me, right? I at first it was the money, and then I actually found a greater purpose that allowed me to not focus so much on the money, because focusing so much on the money kind of distracts you a little bit, right? You start losing focus on the long-term goal. And the thing is that, you know, those $500, $600 days at the end of the year is crazy. They add up. And if you start going from 500 to trying to make 3K, 4K a day, and you're definitely going to be hitting those, right? It's a slow scale up process. You're going to be hitting 3K days, but then there's going to be that one day that you're 12K. Next day, you can be down 10K again. And it just goes downhill. Like, you know, it's a slow process. Like any career, you're not going to get a raise within a month, 2 months, 3 months. You're not going to get those raises. So it's a very slow process, and be realistic with how it is. And I think from the start, right, when you have that job, don't look at trading as to replace my income. It's an additional income. And when you think that way, the $200, $300 gains in a day feels amazing because I just worked. Okay, my job pays me $250, $300 a day. I made an extra $300. That's crazy. I just made $600 a day, right? But when you start, you're at work, you lose your ass, $600, right? And the next day you lose $400. What are you doing? You're not even getting paid for the week. So if you just focus on, I have a job, that's my current situation. Let me make an additional income. If I don't have anything else, trading can be that additional income. So when that kind of clicked for me, is like I have a job, I work in sales, so I have commissions. So I'm like, so I have a job. Let me just add on for a little bit. Let me build some cushion. And when I did that, right, my calendar was like $200, $300, $200, $300, and then $400, $400. Every month was like, I started with like 150. It was 150 to 200, 150 to 200 all day. And the thing is when you start building that momentum, right, I was maybe one red day, 2 red days out of the month. And the loss was like maybe a $400 loss, but that's just because, the stop loss, right? Stop loss issue. And then it just kept going. Then I did 400 and then 500 and then 600. And it was a slow process every month. And the difference is like one con goes a long way. Just one con, 2 cons goes a long way. It doesn't have to be, full courting or anything like that. That's just delaying your process. It's just delaying your journey. When things click and you're like, you know what, let me settle for little profits, build some momentum. And then I won't, like I always say, look scaling up as a reward. I did great. Let me try to scale up. You have to do good. You can't just scale up for no reason. I'm a very systematic, as in like same position sizing. Maybe I'll throw one if I think the setup is crazy, but it's the same position size every single time. And I think that creates that structure of, the income you're making, right? The weeks are going to look like 5, 6K a week, 5, 6K a week, 5, 6K a week, 5, 6K a week. It just keeps on going like that. And then once you start adding a little bit more contracts, and it will slowly grow to 7, 8K a week, right? And it just keeps on going that way. But the biggest thing was just when my goals were aligned with my trading was when everything changed. Everything took off. But yeah, I mean, I started penny stocks as well. I think everyone starts with penny stocks, right? Tim Sykes, bro.
Blew me 100 bad.
Yeah.
Tim Sykes has been running ads for the last 20 years. All right. Appreciate that, Danny. This is Fred. Fred's someone that I became pretty close with over the last year. And I think his story about trading and how he got into it and what he's been able to do, similar to what Danny talked about, supplementing income and things like that. He'll hit on that, but I think it's going to be pretty inspirational because he's someone that was able to take 500 to 57,000 in 1 month in November. So $500 to 57,000 in a month. So Fred.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think I met everyone here already. So yeah, I'm Fred. No one on our Discord or Twitter. Just to piggyback off of what these guys said, I started day trading in 2016 with some goats. I was introduced. I'm in real estate. I do multiple 6 figures at work, but to do the same thing they said is to find supplemental income. When it was brought up to me, it made no sense. It was Chinese. What the hell you mean I'm going to buy something and then sell it for something else? That makes no sense, right? And I blew probably 13 accounts. I blew 13 accounts. And I became profitable at year 4. In that year, I made $672,000. So, and that's with a job. That's with a 9-to-5. And real estate never sleeps. It's a 24/7 job. So to piggyback what these guys said, if I can, you guys can, right? And then I was introduced to Strat here about options. Again, who's this random guy talking on the speaker about levels?
In that room right there.
Yeah, levels. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at because I'm coming from a day trader. I'm like, I'm gonna buy here, sell here, like contracts, deltas, and it's burning. What? They tell me, listen for 30 minutes. As we all, as day traders, wherever your backgrounds are, this is something you will know, right? Because you have the basis of trading stocks. And the cool thing about options is that I'm not against you and you're not against me. You're reading the levels that he positioned.
Well, I might be against you guys.
Well, yeah. Well, what he does different. What I'm saying overall about options, I'm not here to eat you up. Depends on what your levels are, your levels of conviction. That's up to you to make that call or put, right? That's the cool thing about having options. We're here to all make money together one way or another. Whatever your percentages are, those are yours, right? And so I started November of 2022. And in January, with a $5,000 account, I made 110 grand on Tesla. Tesla. 2022.
It's amazing.
And then we started doing minimal gains, doing base hits before hitting home runs, 10, 20, 30% from here and there. I told him in November I wanted to do a challenge to $500. I have my 2 receipts back there. We were in Mexico. We were hitting multi-bags in Mexico on a boat. So we were able to do 500 to see what we will do. And every day I would send screenshots of the P&L. And at the end of the year, at the end of that month, we did $57,000 from 500. But it's like what he said, it's compounding those gains. What's 30% of 1,500? 450 bucks. Add those, 30%. Whatever your number may be, that's your magic number, your levels of risk. So as long as you guys are doing that, there shouldn't be any reasons why you have a little bit of red days. Don't worry about hitting bangers. Hit the 30s. Because in your level of conviction, when the bangers do hit, it will be a lot stronger.
So win a little rather than losing a lot.
That's it. How do you win games? Hitting bases. And then you hit that eventual home run, right? So I appreciate you guys coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Strat. Thank you guys for coming out to this. This is our first Alpine event, kind of in-person event, and won't be our last because I know I've gotten so many DMs just today alone. People saw pictures. Man, I wish I could be there. I was showing him some DMs, like multiple DMs people. I'm going to the next one. So we're going to do it all again. We started planning last night, started talking about stuff. So we'll be announcing the Q2 one right after we leave Houston. We're going to get into the planning phase on that. So we will be doing this again. But I do appreciate you guys coming out. And just the fact that you're here means that you're already light years ahead of people who aren't invested in themselves and doing this. You know, the number one thing that you can do in your life is just invest back into yourself, back into your knowledge, back into your health. You know, it all comes down to health, wealth, and relationships, right? And invest everything back into those 3 things and you'll live a pretty successful life, in my opinion. So my story is a little unconventional. I was growing up, I was decent smart kid. I took AP classes. So when I tell people, they're like different stories between me and Max, right? Yeah, I was in AP calculus.
I don't even know what that is.
Advanced placement calculus.
I already dropped that.
Yeah. So, So, I took those classes and I was relatively smart, kid going through high school, was going to go to the Naval Academy, play baseball, ended up going playing college baseball, not at the Naval Academy, but when I was in college, I played college baseball, so always competitive. And I was like, I want to play baseball. I want to go to the major leagues. Well, that, very, very small chance that happening. So I was like, I'm going to go work in baseball. It's the best thing I can do for that. I'm going to go study finance in college because there's numbers involved and, it'll be great. Then I can learn a little bit of things. And when you go through college, even college, you think about the stock market. Even in my derivatives class, we learned about options, and I know how to calculate options. I know how to calculate the implied moves based on derivatives and all these different things, right? But what it comes down to is in college and every higher education setting that we go to, the stock market is something that we get introduced to, that we invest into passively. We put money in today, and then 40 years we retire, and then we go tell our friends and financial advisors, oh, do you see how much money I made on Tesla over the last 40 years? No one ever told me anything about active income in the stock market. And so COVID hit. The first time I got introduced to the stock market was right before COVID hit. I signed up for my employee stock matching program or something like that, like stock purchasing program, so I could buy stock. So I'm looking at the chart, and like the chart would come down and be like, it's a good time to buy my company stock here. And then it would just keep going down because I had no idea what support and resistance was. And I'm sure you guys have been there before too. Like, hey, Tesla's dropping, maybe I should buy some here. 2 weeks later, it's down another 30%. it's not a good feeling, right? And you can circumvent that just by having key levels, which we'll talk about today. But that was kind of my kind of getting into the stock market, and then getting into trading. I was on Twitter and I met some people Fred was talking about, as we all did. And I saw the Tim Sykes ads, and I saw there's another guy that does the ads in his Ty Lopez or something?
Lopez.
Yeah, all those guys, right? All the ads. Make money online. I'm like, yeah, you can make money online. Let me try day trading. Try the penny stocks, and it went great during COVID. I made a ton of money when COVID first started, as everyone probably did, because you just buy it 8 o'clock in the morning and you sell by 12 o'clock and you make money and do the same thing the next day. At that time, I was looking to buy a house. I just sold my first house. I was looking to buy another house. My realtor is actually here with me from Virginia. Shout out Sean, he's back there. And I was like, stocks are going up. This is good. And then all of a sudden in like 2021, the market started going down, and I was like, well, I'm only used to like buying in the morning and selling. Like how does this? And I hadn't gone full bore into the option world yet, so I was like, I need to learn these options. I need to figure out, how to nail in a strategy with options. And that's kind of what I did. And my whole goal has always been get out of this like this negative voodoo of the stock market. Because I told you guys today, I did a street interview last week with a lot of people. And I'd say 8 to 9 out of 10 people say, I've never gotten into the stock market. And I asked why. Well, I'm just intimidated. There's too much math. There's too much geometry. And I mean, you guys saw what we did today, right? You saw what Max did. He made 100% today, and he was playing video games. I think after that, he was like, I'm done for the day. We took a trade off of open at Meta off of open on Meta, and it was 200%. And my whole goal is to bring awareness to what you guys can do in the markets and how you can start to leverage your capital to start making more money and making better decisions. And whether it's going on a vacation, paying off debt, supplementing income, buying another house. I mean, literally, we're doing this at, what is it, the 42nd level up here? We're all the way up in the sky doing this. Like, and there is no limit. You just keep on going, guys. Like, he did 500 to 57,000. Gus had some massive trades, but at the end of the day, like, what allows us to be successful and profitable is the losses that we've taken. And I want to be very transparent about that, because the biggest loss I ever had in a day was like $18,000. And like at the time, I didn't have $18,000 to lose. I was working a corporate job, so I wasn't making $18,000 in a month, right? But the day before, I'll never forget, I had made like $9,800 and $9,700, and I was amped, man. Like, I was so pumped, because I was like, 10 grand, like, this is going to be awesome. So the next day, what did I do? I woke up and all I was focused on was $10,000. I didn't care what the chart said. I knew, like, I was a beast, man. I just made almost 10 grand yesterday. Like, maybe I'll make 20 the next day.
There it is.
Right. And I was like, this, so I'm sitting there, right. And I'm at the charts, and I can't wait for the market to go up. I'm just like looking, and I'm like ready to go. Like, I'm just like, I'm going to make 20, 30, 40 grand, because I did 10 yesterday. I almost did 10 yesterday. So I bought in, right. I bought in, it went against me. And I'm like, damn, let me just add some more. Right. So add some more. Then it loses a level. Right. Well, damn, there's like this little EMA line below that. So maybe I'll add some more, and hopefully it bounces there. And before you know it, guys, and I'm sure everyone's been in this situation in this room, we just keep averaging down. I look at the P&L, and I'm like, I'm down $18,000 today. Like, what did I just do? Like, I gave up everything I just did yesterday, plus almost another 10 grand. And again, I didn't have that money to be losing. So when I snapped out of that, and Danny talked about it best, when you go from trying to make money in the markets to actually trying to understand the process, that's when you start to make money. The best traders and most profitable traders that you'll run into, and people that you'll meet here in this room that have made millions of dollars trading, have done that because they've learned how to lose money effectively. It's not about how much money you can make. We can all make money. We hit 200% on Meta. What happens if we did that and then we go into another trade and we have zero stop loss, we have zero risk management? What we just did on that 100% trade or 200% trade means nothing. If Max did the same thing, he made 100%. If he goes in and YOLOs into something else because, I'm going to try and make some more, with no regard to his strategy, he just ruined the day that he had. And I think as retail traders, we've all been there. We've all ruined green days because we've gotten greedy. We've gotten, loose with our risk management. So if you take anything out of this, it's the fact that the best losers actually win. In order to win in the markets, you have to be able to lose really, really well, because you're going to lose every day. Think about baseball, right? Fred talked about base hits. I was a college baseball player. If I go into every game saying, like, if I strike out, it's going to be the end of the day. Like, I'm done. I'm done playing. I'm not, every baseball player takes a strikeout every year. Like, every year your strikeouts, you're going to strike out almost, every single game you play, there could be a strikeout. That's not going to stop you from continuing to show up to the plate and hit and get on base and
potentially hit home runs and things like that. So showing back up and just getting after it and focusing on the process, that'll lead to the results, in my opinion. So I appreciate you guys being here. And the big thing is like, let's just get awareness to everyone out there and let's normalize the fact that this is not hard stuff to do. That's why we're all here. That's why these guys, I said, hey, do you guys want to come and talk? Yes, I want to go because I want people to understand that you can do this and doesn't have to be a foreign language like it was when you first started, when I first started, when all of you guys first started, it was all foreign language. And look how much further you've gotten if you've been doing this for a while. Think back to where you were and think back and start to think now, 2-3 years from now, if I continue to do this, how much further along am I going to be? Probably pretty far. So appreciate you guys being here. I think it's been great. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I want to jump into some Q&A now. So whether it's on the live stream, because I know we have a few hundred listening on live stream, or here in the room, we can start with people in the room, and then we'll filter questions as they come through. But any questions for anyone specifically on the panel? Go ahead.
My failure in zero DT options is not knowing where to stop. I put 1,000, all of a sudden 700. I said, oh, it's going to turn. Then next thing you know, it's 300. Then it's, there's not stop anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'll repeat the question for everyone on live stream. So the question was the fear with zero DTs. If you put 1,000 in, how do you manage that position if you go down, $700 and now you're down 300? Or I think that's what you're asking, is how do you manage risk management?
No, well, I mean, it all comes down to like finding that setup, right? Like for example, today I decided to do Tesla setup, right? Because if we were going to break a certain high, right? So like obviously if I'm seeing like a major like SPY or the ES hold up a certain zone above that, I'm more inclined to do the calls, right? But more inclined to the ODTs, excuse me. And for that specific trade, you almost, for ODT, I say this to everybody, that you almost have to have a certain mental stop. Like today, right? I was like in 12 contracts, right? I had like about a $700 positioning sizing. I'm looking for momentum. If you're trading ODT, you got to understand that the trade has to come in the next 3 to 5 minutes because you're looking to size out off of momentum. If not, you're going to get trapped and you're going to get premium decay. Because like if you pull out a ruler, it's like you're measuring a move, right? Your strike price is a measurement from the current price on ODT. And what you're looking for is high volume and momentum to be able to exit out of it, right? So it's something that I feel that you should actually size down, focus on practicing with 1-2 contracts. Don't even look at the money right now. If this is something you like, the ODT trading, focus on light practice. Like how can you consistently practice? Because we've had it. I have a mentorship student of mine here in the room, and it's like the practice, right? It's like the practice. Being able to understand that it's gonna take you further. Because I put the analogy that like $1,000 account, very different from a $10,000. It might not seem like a much different money gap, but it is, because that extra zero. Because if you're in $1,000 taking a $300 hit, that's the same thing as taking a $3,000 hit. And I bet you $3,000 hit, 300 might not hit you as much, but $3,000 one will. It's like, and it's the same thing because it's the same positioning sizing. So
stop losses are up to you. It's a very self-aware program that you have to run with yourself. When you say I'm down 30%, I don't think of I'm down 30%. The way my brain operates is, oh shit, now I need actually 40 to 45% to get that 30 back. You see what I'm saying? Because 30% on 700 is only going to bring you back up to 910, not the full 1,000. So that's the way I look at it, the mathematical side of how much do I have to lose and what are the chances I make 40 to 45% back to get to break even. And then is the initial trade still even intact? So having a stop loss, I told you, you just need to rework your mind to understand that stopping out of a trade is totally okay. And it should feel like a relief, like, fucked up, but I can always live to fight another day. The best traders in the world only need to be right 4 out of 10 times. And they just need to manage their losses the other 6. And that's the kind of R multiple. It comes down to your R multiple, your risk to reward, and what's the contingency for you to stop out. And unfortunately, not really anyone up here can give you an answer to that. It's self-awareness.
So he mentioned a good point there with like the stop loss, like it should feel normal or it should be okay. And I go back to the baseball analogy because it's like that's what I grew up with, right? But like it's like if you watch strike 3 go right down the middle. It happens. Like it happens. You know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing you can do. That doesn't mean that we just ruin the rest of our day and the rest of our bats that we're going to get
you know, because that next time we come up to bat, we could hit a grand slam or we could hit a triple that wins the game. You know what I mean? So it's like losing is a part of stock trading. No stock trader takes trades and does not lose. None of us up here have 100% win rate. Hedge funds don't even have 100% win rate, right? So it's like
hedge funds are dog shit.
Yeah, like they just manipulate and make money
They
that
just
way.
lose.
But yeah, it's like losing is normal. So when I tell people, like I say this joke and you guys have heard it in the community, but it's like you tell people what you do at Thanksgiving dinner. What'd you do this year? How did you make money? Oh, I'm a professional risk manager.
Yeah.
Not a stock trader. I just manage my risk. Like that's all I do, you know? And that's what you guys are in the community. When I took, we talked about drawdowns and stop losses, specifically your question on zero DTEs. In November, I took 2000. I did a 2K club, not like a challenge, but I wanted to do a club to show people like how to actually grow an account. So we started off really well in week 1. We took 2K at almost $3,000. And then we had a drawdown on week 2 and we went down to like $1,700. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm going to make myself look like an idiot because we had $3,000. Now we're at 1,700. I'm like fumbling a little bit. It's, you know, there's pressure because I'm on YouTube live every single day in front of a few hundred people. And then we took 1,700 to over 7,000 at the end of November. So wherever you guys are at, like you don't, you know, you see people with $50,000 accounts, you see people with $500 accounts. The person with 500 made more money in 1 month than someone maybe with a $50,000 account, right? So the nice thing about stock trading, or the thing that inspires me the most, is everyone in this room today was looking at the exact same charts. So how do we all get to a level of profitability? And it's all how we're wired right here in between our, you know, in between our ears. So,
And another thing to add to that, you guys gotta understand options are leverage, right? So like, for example, like you're trading something that's leverage, right? If you're trading, like I day trade shares too, right? Like I could buy Tesla shares like at 220 and take them to 240, right? But if you're trying to buy options, you gotta time that thing. And a lot of people, I feel that that's what they need help on. They need a time to move. They think it's gonna happen in 1 week, the 220 to 240. It can, right? But like, how well are you timing? Like, do you understand where the liquidity will be? Like, if you understand the 260 area on Tesla, I'd rather be more long above there, or I'm just waiting for 215 to start my leaps, right? Because the thing is that I have an approach for everything that I'm getting myself into. And like he said, you know, we're professional risk takers. Like he took a $500 account and like we hit it right on the bell. That's what leverage is. This is low barriers to entry. Like, you know, I own multiple businesses and they're high barriers to entry, right? This is low barriers to entry. $500 can potentially make you 50,000. So, you know, if you're in a position right now that you want to focus on like those type of things, right? Just focus on like jotting down the fundamentals, understanding volume, understanding trends in the market, understanding reversals, understanding stuff like the volatility index, or like the dollar can be a good confluence, understanding every different sector and identifying which one is the most liquid, right? Like, you know, right now with the VIX, like, you know, I'm gonna give you guys right now what I'm looking at, right? Like right now with the VIX in the 1 hour time frame, we pull it up, there's like an uptrend going on. So like, you know, like this week with 2 contracts, right? I got the 512.5 puts for NVIDIA. This was like 2 days ago, right? Obviously they expired worthless, but I only had 2 contracts, $80. I lost $80. That's called being a professional risk taker. Now, next week, I'm gonna attempt it, right? But you know, I'm gonna give it some time. But obviously, because I want to tag something that moves 20 points up and down, right? It's not like, you know, I developed so much emotions to say that, hey, yeah, the Nvidia's gonna drop to 512 and be in like, you know, like 1,000 contracts, right? Like obviously, you know, you'll know when the momentum is finally building up. And you know, that's something like with the shorts, right? We were able to size down size up once the level broke. When we had our starters. Because we shorted the market right at that exact spot. He was looking at the NQ, I was looking at the NES. And you know, and we were both, he nailed it right on the dot of the NQ. I nailed it right on the dot of the ES. And it was beautiful on the pool buck, right? Yeah.
You mentioned too, like leverage. That's a big thing. A lot of people think I've talked to a few of you, and one of the things that I hear a lot is, hey, I'm losing a little bit. How can I? It's like size down, right? Because with options, the whole lure is like Gus says, like it's all about leverage. So I don't know, is Swaggy in here? I think he is. He's somewhere, right? Yeah, Swaggy's back there. So Swaggy took what was it, $70 to $700 yesterday, right? On DocuSign. So I mean, that's my point. Is like, but you have people like, oh, I need to be putting 5,000, 10,000 into a trade, and I'm like,
This man just did $70 to $700 in about 10 minutes on a news trade yesterday. Yeah, that's true.
We get that question. We get that question a lot. Hey, I'm losing. What I need to do? The number one answer is you're sizing too heavy. When you ask me that, you're sizing too heavy. I'd rather lose $30,000 than $30,000, $3,000, right? So that's why if you know your levels and you're going to trade confidently, your mental stop loss will be a minimum amount versus, because you're gonna have bigger gains that way. Because now you're knowing that if I lose $50, I'm not gonna lose $5,000 on a $10,000 account. Right?
Yeah.
That's why you're able to do today
Yeah.
out of 500 to 200%.
There's one way to guarantee you can grow your account. And I don't know if you guys will agree with this or not, but this is what I always tell people. And it sounds cliche, but there's 3 things you have to follow and you can grow your account, whatever size you want to take it to, right? But it's win big, win small, and lose small. If you only ever allow those 3 things to happen, mathematically speaking, your account can never shrink because you're never allowing yourself to lose big. You're going to win small and you're going to lose small. And theoretically, those cancel each other out. And then you're left with big wins, right? So your account will naturally go like that.
The math is math.
Yeah, the math is math.
The math is math.
Yeah.
Because math.
Who's got a good question? Give me a banger.
I got one.
All right.
Give me something
What we
hard.
got?
It ain't really crazy, but it's all. Some of us here are new traders. I'm a very new trader. You guys share some experience about what you've done, but you had to start over right now with knowledge you know. Who are you contacting? What are you doing? And what are you focusing on?
I'm calling strat. Like, okay, someone else go first. That was.
I'll be completely honest with you. If I had to start over, you want me to keep it real, I wouldn't fucking trade. Stressful as shit. I've lost hundreds of thousands. I've made hundreds of thousands. I would go get a sales job, and then I would consider it. But if I had to start over right now, like in the trading world, wouldn't fucking do it. 100%.
My take is I would do it, but I would if I knew what I knew now, I would know what not to do and what to do. When I first started, I went to the school of YouTube, tons of different educators on there, tons of different strategies. And we talked about this, right? Having multiple strategies is like driving on a highway with 5 lanes. And you're like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what exit to take. It's like when you narrow down your strategy to 1 lane, you know what road to be on and take that strategy. So if I had to start all over again, I would find that strategy quick. I would find someone, a community, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, social media, whatever it is, but like I would find something that like lines up with how I want to be as a trader, because we all trade differently up here. I don't sell options like Max does. I buy them. And I don't trade futures like Danny does. And I don't trade like Gus does 100% of the time. So we all have our own individual strategies. But I would try and find that strategy quick, because when you think about it, anyone that's successful in life, it all starts with an identity shift, right? We have a mental shift in identity, and everyone up here will probably agree when they became profitable, their whole identity shifted as a trader. So when you think of someone like, I use an example all the time, but like Michael Jordan. When you think of Michael Jordan, what do you think of? You think of a winner, a champion, the Jordan brand. He has an identity as a player.
Second best NBA player of all time.
Yeah.
LeBron. Easy debate.
But then you just think, right? Anyone that's successful in life in any niche that they're in, anything they do, they all have an identity. So when I think about myself now, it's like it took me years to figure out how I wanted to be as a trader, but now I know like I'm a trend trader, I'm a momentum guy. What I did today is exactly what I do, but I do that every single day. And when you first start, you want to follow signals, you want to follow ideas, and you never really want to know why you're taking the signals and why you're taking the ideas. So it's mindset, and then locking in that strategy first. And once you have that, the risk management can come. But those are the 3 pillars, right? Your mindset, your strategy, and your risk management. Put all 3 of those together and you can go do whatever you want to do. So that's what I would tell myself is figure out the strategy early on and stick with it. Don't strategy hop.
I would stick to piggyback off of what he said. Get into a community, whether it's in person, whether it's to a Discord, whatever that may be. Learn what not to do, right? Me, if I start all over, I'll slow down. I wanted to get in everything. And now I'm in too many positions. One's losing, I'm winning here. So what am I doing? Am I watching this one? Am I watching this one? Am I watching my green? Am I watching the reds? Slow down. Get into one. Try what strategies work out for you. Buy one contract. See what it does for you. Prove to see the theories that you're looking at. Are these levels and these levels working for me? Is the orb going to work? What he just presented was fire. Does that shit work for me? I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one. Oh shit, if 3 work, I'm gonna buy 2. Size up, size down. Those are things that I've done different. Versus full port, blow my account 13 times. Slow down.
I think
Slow down.
I think also a lot of people have like the wrong approach joining communities.
Yes.
Right, like you need to really see when you join a community, right? That guy's the professor. That guy is literally live trading with you, showing you the ropes, showing you what he's looking at, what he thinks is going to happen. And you need to be, you know, if you're a student, what do? You take notes. You have to study the trades. What did he see? Go analyze. Like, you know, you have to go out of your way. I mean, you're not going to join a community and really try to thrive. Like, you're not going to thrive. If you don't do the work yourself, it's going to be hard. Because what happens if that trader, something happens and, you know, he doesn't have the Discord anymore? Right? You have to be the entire time. If you're in the Discord, you got to be studying the entire time and making sure you're getting the best out of it, right? Because maybe what if you're like taking these trades and some of them aren't hitting? Okay, what is he looking at? Or how about this? Like, you know, y'all are in a trade, right? You get in, he gets in, and you notice, right? If you study the trades, you notice that, you know what, he holds a little too long and gives a little bit back. I'm gonna be like a little more strict on, you know, he's still in, I'm gonna cut it. It's like those little changes where you're like, you know, and then next thing you know, you're gonna start picking up on like things yourself. You know, you're gonna start being like, you know what, I was thinking the same thing. Look, he's signaling calls. It's a learning experience. It's not something to follow along to just to get rich and make. If that, you know, that trader made $10,000 a month, you know, it doesn't mean that I want to copy his trades to make 10,000 a month. Is I want to learn what he knows so I can make 10,000 a month. It's a very self journey, and the reason why it's a self journey is because it's a mental game. You got to understand that everyone looks at the same chart, but we just have a different thought process, and that's because some of us has different goals. Some people are holding a trade a little longer because they're being a little greedy, and they don't know that about themselves just yet. Right? Some people, you know what, they're in and out of the trade because, you know what, they've had those experiences. Maybe they're building that account, and they know it could go higher. See, when I started on that little journey of like, you know what, let me just stack. Right? I created a little rule, and I was like, you know what, I have to change the situation. I was like, this is bad, but I don't want to stop. I created a 3-bar rule, which means that like as a scalper, 3 bars my direction, I was out, and that whole time I went 60 days without a loss. 3-bar rule. I'm in the trade, 1, 2, 3, I'm out. And guess what? The trade would run, but I didn't care because I was so locked in on the vision. I'm like, I want to turn profitable. And then I can worry about, once I build a cushion, then you can worry about like catching crazy setups, right? You can worry about catching crazy setups and maybe sizing up a little bit, but why worry about even sizing up when you're not even profitable yet, right? You got to, like, it's the most important part is having that your goals aligned with your trading, right? Build the cushion. If you have no money, you're gonna have to build a cushion. It's not just gonna come like bam. You know, it's not gonna come like that. Well, at least it didn't for me, right? Mine was like baby steps. And then when you start, you know, the baby steps start adding up, bro, you start walking, and then you start jogging, and then you run, right? But that is when you build capital. When you build capital, you are sprinting, right? When you start sprinting, when you have, you know, a 10, 20K account, you start jogging, bro. And then you have more, you're sprinting. The $1,000, $2,000 come like that. And that's all you need. And if you you know what, you're like, it comes to a point where you're like, I'm a sniper at my entries. So let me size in, right? Tight stop, let me size in. 1, 2, 3 candles, I'm up 2 bands. I'm out. I don't need anything else. Like it gets to that point where you're like, why would I even stress about, you know what, let me hold this pull back to see if it keeps going higher? Nah, it comes to a point where your entries are so spot on sometimes where you're just like, I'm in and out, and I already made my daily goal. So why keep trading, or why even look at the chart? Go do something else, right? And if you have a job, right? Shit, I already made a whole new, like what I make in a week, I made in 10 minutes. Let me, you know, that's a big blessing, bro. I think that, you know, that you need to understand that being a trader and having the opportunity. Some people don't even know what this is, right? And you need to take advantage of like, you know what? Look at the money I can make. But I just need to be a little smarter. I just need to plan a little different. I just need to, you know what? Let me align my goals. Let me study a little harder. You know what I'm saying? And see it as an opportunity for growth, bro, because trading is gonna tear you down completely. And if you're someone who's cocky and not humble, I guarantee you're gonna be humbled. You know, I had a friend who, you know what, he was a little cocky, he wasn't humble. And bro, he was like, you know what, like I'm gonna go crazy, this and that, and got smoked. And he started, you know what, he started building a little bit, got smoked again, and completely different person now. Because trading, no, for yeah, bro, it changes you, bro, because you're not shit to the market. At first starting, you're not shit to the market.
You want to hear some lost resume? I can give you my whole lost resume. Let me know if anyone's got me beat. First major loss, 2019 Costco earnings report, 22,000. Woke up to negative 99.1% gone. That's some degenerate dumb shit. Second major loss, Amazon, December 2019, 36,000. Just kept holding it and kept adding to it for no fucking reason. And I don't even understand options. Really, I was just like, oh, I bet if I buy more, I'll go up. I heard they're going to kill it this Christmas. Next big loss, 30,000, Lululemon. Earnings report. No reason why I should have even been in that fucking trade. Not even one. Next major loss, 24,000, Walmart. Kept averaging in. Just kept averaging in. That was early 2020. Major loss, 79,000, Tesla. 2020, mid-year, broke out like a fucking spaceship just took off, and I was just bag holding puts. Not feel good. Next major loss, largest one to date, single day, 131,000 Costco credit spreads. For some fucking reason, they decided they want to release their amazing earnings right now in the middle of a random Tuesday at 7 o'clock at night, and its stock hit all-time high overnight, and I was holding call side credit spreads. 200 contracts, 10 wide. Lost $131,000 by the time I woke up. The next day, 31,000 on UPS. Revenge trading. So I'm gonna get it back right now. Don't worry about it. 31K gone, just like that. Next day.
I have a question.
Yep.
What's the difference between you and somebody who takes L's like that and quits? Because I think a lot of people
Would just quit.
Maybe it's not about like that. Like it's relative to your income.
I think I understood that I was doing stupid shit and that it was outside of my normal trading that made me very profitable, that made me seven figures, and I knew I was I'm just gambling. So I think in my mind, I knew that you're being a fucking idiot and you deserve it, right? If you deserve it, the universe will serve it. And I was just being an idiot.
Accountability.
So, it's accountability. Yeah, I knew the intention going in. It was going for a home run. You get humbled. The biggest loss I've taken to date was last year. I put a boatload of money into a leveraged ETF and got absolutely smoked. 159,000 on a leveraged ETF that got crippled. Bought it at 300 and it went to 20.
Oh,
Yep. So got a lost resume. So everything I talk from experience, overcome, adapting, and everything. I've had more losses. I told you, I'm serious. I've probably taken almost $1 million in losses. So you get there. You want to start over? If you want to start over, save $5,000 to $10,000. Have the discipline to keep 5 to 10 racks in your bank account. That is the first step to getting started. Consolidate your debt. Don't trade for money. Trade because you want to trade. That's how I would do
I have
it.
a question for any of these analysts. I'm trying to figure that out fast. Like, do you remember the last day you didn't trade and like very intentionally because you knew you were going to be off for one reason or another? So like.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, I took the last 2 days off. I don't trade during bond auctions because the data shows 3 of my last 5 losses happened during a 10, 20, or 30-year bond auction. So it's real easy for me to say now, fuck a bond auction, I'm not trading. So yes, Wednesday was a bond auction, a 10-year, and I took the whole day off. And yesterday I don't trade on airplanes because the last time I traded on an airplane, I looked back at my phone when I landed and I lost 15 grams gone from my fucking brokerage account somehow. So
that sounds like to me, it's like you've had past experiences.
Yep.
Like, so like you don't like.
If you don't learn from the past experiences, if you don't look at them as building blocks to grow,
But do you have, like,
then you're just gonna run yourself into the ground.
For sure. Like my question is like, do you have like a system? where like you do like sell checks, so you know you're not going. It's like I hear that over and over about health. It's like you know you shouldn't,
But you do it anyway.
It's just a feeling, but you don't actually have like. So I was just curious. Like,
Yeah.
Anyone out there is doing that? 'Cause I think that's
The longer you trade, a lot of new traders, you're going to hear them say, especially in my Discord, Sunday, oh, I wish it was Monday already. I don't. Like, I'm fucking loving the time off. I've learned to trade less and make a lot more. And because I just use the data on the days I take losses, and I'm able to put that to work, and I'm able to take so many more days off right now and make a significantly amount more of income, a lot less stressful as well. And that comes with experience.
Yeah. The other thing to point out too is I think, and you guys might agree with this, but like a trader can probably make their entire year's P&L in probably a month. If you have one good month, you can make your entire year. And that goes back to the point of like less is more. Like you don't have to trade every single day. So when you look back at like those big days that maybe grow your P&L, it's not like you were having a big day every single day of the week. Every 252 trading days, we have huge days. That's not the realistic thing, but it's like, hey, the month of December was absolutely hot. Like we killed it, right? So like maybe December is where like that's where it is. But back to V's point, like, yeah, there's definitely days where you shouldn't trade. And I think it goes to just to be an experienced trader. It's the emotional stability. Trading is one of the hardest things you'll ever do from a mental, emotional standpoint, because it's like, everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is successful in my mind, right? That's what people think. We're all looking at the same charts. It's like, why can't I figure it out? Why can't I get like, why do I always take 5 steps forward and then 10 steps backwards? Why is my P&L making lower lows and lower highs? And how do I get it to make higher highs and higher lows? Like my P&L lost the EMAs and it's just plunging now. Like what can I do? Right. And it's hard. It's emotionally taxing. It's really, really hard, especially when you don't have people around you that know how to trade. So the fact that we're all in here, even if we're not all like experienced traders right now, we're all in here. We all have synergy. We all have chemistry. Why? Because we all want to get better every single day, whether it's with trading, business, whatever it is we want to do. And when you surround yourself with winners, you're going to become a winner. So that's what I have to say.
It's kind of an oxymoron, you know, because you trade for money, right? How many of you are not trading for money? You're a fucking liar. Everyone else in the room is an honest person. We trade because you make money.
You want to make a shit ton of money.
You want to make money, right? That's what I always say. There's 2 types of people: traders who want to make money and fucking liars, right? That's the end goal. But it's tough because you want to trade to make income, a side income, but you shouldn't trade that way, right? It's contradicting in itself. So it's very tough to get that emotionally wrapped around your head. It's like, I want to make this cash, but I shouldn't be trading for money. Like, it's a very tough process to understand. And like Shaq just said, trading is mental and self-awareness. That's it.
What I say is I always, to get around that mental block is like, I trade for the process, and the money is a byproduct of the process, right? Because let's say like if you have a system, a strategy, everything, and you do your process 100% of the time, what's going to happen? The money's going to be there. The best analogy I can think of recently when I think about trading and how hard it is, all of us in here can go to that gym right down there. We can all go to the same grocery store, and eventually we could all have 6-pack abs, right? Is it going to happen? We'll give, yeah, no.
I pay a lot of money for this.
Is it going to happen overnight though? No, right? But we all have the same charts. We all have the same. We have everything. So can we all become 7-figure day traders overnight? No. But how do we do it? We follow a systematized process every single day. Same way a personal trainer would hold you accountable for doing that. So follow the process, and then the result of that process is going to be money in your brokerage account, which is what we all want.
That's what I said.
And I think also, what's really, really important is having one strategy and sticking to that strategy. And not only just because, you're doing the same thing, but having a strategy and sticking to the same thing and allows you to actually review your trades. You're going to actually understand where you went wrong on entry, where you could have maybe taken this loss a little bit, a little less of a loss, where you should have put your stop loss, right? Like having a strategy, right? Whether it be from like a rejection of a key level, right? Or a zone, whatever, supply and demand, whatever your strategy is, EMA, whatever, right? Studying that trade, right? Studying that, you're like, okay, this is my strategy. Where did I go wrong? And then you can start the next day. It happens so many times to me. It's like where I've reviewed a trade around a zone that I took it right there. I was like, but look at this, like this confirmed right there. And then the next day, right? Because it's the same thing I'm looking at, still the same zone, still the same key levels. It happened. I would, you know what? I'm gonna wait because I studied this yesterday. Boom, I nail it, and I got the trade. But it's because I have a system that I'm able to study. If you're just looking at a naked chart or a couple EMAs, then you're not gonna know, like, okay, how do I get better at this? If you're just looking at a naked chart, you're like, well, how do I know? Like, you won't know because you're not looking to see where potential rejections were going to be, where your entry could have been a little better. Like, you don't know. If you have a strategy, you can start planning for the next day. You like the next day that you know the market's live. You start seeing the things that you saw before around that's revolved around your strategy. So it's very, very important that you need to review your trades and analyze your mistakes, or else you're not going to fix them. If you're someone who just takes a trade and doesn't study them, you're not going to do anything.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I lost 21,000 on the NVIDIA flush.
The last earnings report.
Yeah, thanks.
I think our entire room was probably right on that. That was the layup that we all just.
All stars are aligning. We were going for the stars and we landed upon the shit. So I'm gonna do exactly what he just said. I turned off my screens. I walked away. I said, I'm done. For 2-3 days after, I paper traded. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Right? This is where I got in. This is where I sold to make sure that my system still worked. What did I do wrong on that one? What was the indicator? What did we read that went wrong? It's like riding your bike. You see a pothole, you're gonna hit it again? Hell no, you're gonna dodge it, right? It's the same thing. What am I gonna do? What am I not gonna do the very next trade? How am I gonna size down? How am I gonna size properly? Why did I lose $21,000 in the first place? I went too heavy. Right? I did the exact same thing he just did. I started paper trading. I started making calls with my boys. This is where I would have got in. This is what we did. The very next day I traded. Hey, I'm at this point. I'm at 400%. I'm out. It went to 800. But my strategy still worked. Why? Because I did not want to go and revenge trade the very next day and start getting more than I should have. And that's okay. Don't trade the very next day. Watch it. Watch what not to do.
And that's something very important. Like I was going to mention this earlier, like, you know, talking about the communities and someone going into a certain bias, and everyone should always have their own risk management, right? You're following someone, obviously he has a different risk management than, you know, like I may have a different risk management than Danny. I might, you know, Strat might have, Strat might have a different risk management than me, right? Max might have a different risk management than all of us, right? Like we have to identify what is the risk management here, right? Obviously, you know, like the money comes, right? You're gonna be in the market. Your goal is to be in the market enough to be able to spot an opportunity. And once you spot that opportunity, it's gonna be phenomenal. Like, you know, in 2022, yeah, it was 2022. FOMC was amazing with SPX, right? Like it was just amazing, right? You took it into the SPX, but I always told myself I'm only gonna play the FOMC with $2,000. There's times I took the 2,000 to 10,000, right? There's times that I took it was crazy. There's times that I took contracts like from SPX at $500 all the way up to each contract being worth up to $10,000, right? It's understanding when the market is going to break out of current structure and when we're going to get the expansion, right? And only you'll be able to identify that, right? But yeah, thank you, Strat, for putting this together.
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel that a lot. Like there's so many perspectives here that it just helps understand more of, like, you know, where everybody's at in trading, right? Everyone has different backgrounds. We've all been there, right? I started earlier when I introduced myself. I told you guys I lost 100 grand off penny stocks, not even options, penny stocks, right? So it's like, you know, identifying risk management early on is key here.
So were you able to keep max as big loss?
What was that?
159,000. Does anyone got 159B?
Yeah, I feel like those people.
I lost $200,000 in March.
That's a number, man.
I lost $200,000 when the pandemic began. I had every trader, like, you know, it was me, like, you know, like we all had a bearish bias, right? On the, like when SPY was at all time, well, not all time low, I would say, but 2021 was at the lowest point, right? We sized in. I still remember the expiration date, April 17 puts, right? $200 puts. Right, I just put $200,000. I had just, you know, I felt like my ego was so big. I felt like I was on top of the world, right? I just made $1.1 million with Tesla stock options, right? and that humbled me. You know, I had to like okay, cool. I had to recheck because it hurt me. I was like $200,000. Like I put it in perspective, $200,000, and yeah. And I mean, just recently, this past October, it wasn't unrealized, but I was negative 88,000. But obviously, it bounced back. But it's just because I saw it at a current zone, and yeah, although I wasn't wrong, I just sized up too early, you know. And it happens. It happens.
Gus, Julian says to tell you wowie. Is that wowie? I don't know. I guess it's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever we live trade, because I have over 3,000 hours of live trading, right? And whenever, you know, like obviously, you know, we traded day by day and stuff like that. These losses I've incurred is because I swung or I did something, stuff that's not controllable, right? But yeah, our signatures, like we go like whoo. So like whenever we get the trade hit, we usually, you know, yell it out. It's pretty cool. And it's part of the community, right? And they understand the importance of risk management. It's very important. But yeah, let's get it. But thank you. And if you're from the Option Wall Street family in the stream, appreciate y'all too. You know?
Yeah, make sure you guys follow all the speakers up here. So you got go ahead, Max, with Big Daddy Max on
It's the Big Daddy Max or Max Options Trading on Instagram, Max Options Trading on the Twitter. My YouTube is really like, if you want to get some gold, go to my YouTube, Max Options Trading. You could just Google Max Options Trading. I've been in the game for a while now. We've been around for about 4.5 years. So any follows is more, you know, I would appreciate that more than anything. If you guys, like I said before, if you have any questions, you can DM me on any social media platform and you will always get me in a very rapid time because I'm like glued to my fucking phone, like all of our wives bitch about. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Like I said, if you guys have any questions at any time, please reach out. I'd love to help in any way humanly possible.
Yeah, Strat_trades on all the socials, and then Strat Trades as well on YouTube. Alpine Trading, that's our community. Fred's been a part of it. A lot of people here in person are from the community, so we do this every single day. Like I said, we live trade, and at the end of the day, we're just trying to get everyone to that level of consistently profitable that everyone wants to get to. How do you get to a point where you're withdrawing money from your brokerage account versus putting money in every single week, right? And everyone wants to get there. So between all 5 of us sitting here and Swaggy back there somewhere, we've got like, you know, there's Swaggy back there. But yeah, pick our brains, guys. That's why we're all here. We're all in the same room together. You guys are on the stream. You have the opportunity to ask us questions. That's what we're here for. So appreciate you guys coming out. I know it's been a blast so far.
Oh, at no one _ trades on IG, and then at no one on Twitter.
Yeah, and I'm just on Twitter, Mr. 28 Trades.
And I'm on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. Instagram, it's the Wall Street Code, and Twitter is just Wall Street Code. It's no the. On Instagram, you put the Wall Street Code.
The goat of Wall Street. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
But any other questions before we close out live stream?
Yeah, obviously we're going to a party tonight, right?
Yeah, let's go. Pasamados.
What's some cool shit that you guys have done because of trading, right? Because of this?
I've been to 38 countries.
What?
I'm an avid traveler. I've been to 38 countries and I plan to go to 100.
And he's opening up a school overseas to teach them how to sell options too.
Gonna open up a school to teach.
What's your favorite place you travel?
Man, that's tough to say. I've ran with the bulls in Spain, lived on the beach in Bali, lived in a castle on the coast of Italy, fucking seen the Northern Lights. And I mean, it's tough to say. I think the world's a magnificent place, so I can't pick one. There's no way to pick one. It's all so unique.
Trade and travel, you know.
Yep.
I got a question from Mr. 28 Trades. That 3 candlestick rule that you had, what time frame was that? I used 15 minutes. I found that my best exits are at 1:05.
Well, bro, like, so starting out, I was just scalping, bro.
Yeah.
So even to this day, bro, like I snipe my entries on the 1 minute, 1 minute, 2 minute time frame, and dude, I was fine with that. Like, and I kept that same rule when I switched over from, you know, trading individuals and I went to SPX. SPX was like the actual one where when I started trading SPX, that's where I developed the rule, because SPX was moving so much. I would buy one con and I was like up like $300 on the 3-bar roll. That was when it was moving crazy. That was when the market was still crashing. And now it's like SPX is like slowed down a lot. So that's why I made the move to futures. And futures is futures now is like what I've been enjoying a lot the last 2 weeks, a lot. So I don't do so much as just a 2-bar rule now, right? I focus more on the setup now and actually catching pretty decent sized trades. It's not just about like scalping for me anymore. I catch pretty decent moves. I like when it comes to NQ, I like my typical moves is always 20, 30 points. Those are nice. Like I don't really scalp NQ like that where it's like, I mean, I do, right? I do, but my best ones is always like 20, 30 points. Best is 40, right? But and it all goes down to just like developing my strategy. And I'll say this is just like, as you develop your strategy, right? And you start studying your mistakes start costing you less and less and less, right? When you don't study your trades, your mistakes cost you a lot because you do it all over again and over again and over again. It's just about aligning with the goals and also accountability. Like what he was talking about, you just have to hold yourself accountable, right? Like what really pushed me to never like quit was I would always hold myself accountable. I'm like, why would I quit something where I'm like, I was doing great. And then one mistake of me, not cutting it was the determining factor because it was my fault. I'm going to quit, right? That's why I was like, I got to hold myself accountable. It's like, that was my mistake. The market gave me so many opportunities to cut, but I didn't have the like basically like the balls in me to cut, right? Because it hurts, bro. You're down like, let's say 5-6K. You're like, fuck, I want to cut this, bro. Like, and then you go into this point where you're just hoping. And the next thing you know, that 6K goes to 10K. And then, dude, there's been times, bro, when I first started, I can't tell you how many times, bro, where I was like, I blew like a 5K account and my account was at like 1,200. And I was like, I'm not selling, bro. You might as well take all my money. I was like, bro, I'm not dead ass, bro. I was like, I'm not selling that.
He's talking to his computer. Nah, you're not getting me.
Dead ass, bro. Like I'm so serious, bro. There's so many times where I was just self-sabotage like that. And then I was like, I could have cut it at 1,300. I was like, and I really lost 1,300 just self-sabotage, bro. Like, and it just comes to that point, bro, where it's like, you really got to get to know yourself on a whole different level, bro. Like you got to analyze your mistakes. And that's what I love about trading so much. The self-development side, man. You like my parents say it, my friends say it, I'm a whole different person than I was when I first started.
You learn a lot about yourself.
Bro, like it's insane, bro. It's insane. Like you self-reflect every single day. Every day you're self-reflecting. What other career does that? If you have a job, bro, like you just want to get that shit over with. So what? You can go watch TV, play video games. You're not self-reflecting. You're not trying to get better mentally, bro. Like this is like something so crazy that you're trying to get better at reacting quick. And it's like seconds, right? Entries, right? When I try to get better on my entries, the entries are seconds, bro. Seconds. So I'm imagine try to be like work on that mental sharpness to have that sniper entry because I scout, right? That mental sharpness on like what to identify, the feelings I'm getting, the intuition I get to just take that trade and then just, manage my risk and be like, now with like futures, right? I enter, if I get any sort of sense where like this is going down, I enter the trade and just set my stop. And that's why I catch so many moves is because I just let it play out. I'm not scared. Like, what are you scared of, right? So like, I was showing the guys over there, right? So like I was, since I just made the move, I was just trading one con. I'm new to futures. I was trading one con, and my stop loss was $70, and I was collecting 300 TP, 300, and my stop loss was $70. I can get stopped out twice. Okay, next trade, boom, $300. Made it all back.
33% win rate. You're still green.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, no.
I'm saying if he only wins 1 out of 3, 33%.
Like, damn, what are you?
So, but
that's kind of ass.
Right, but just think.
It's good. We're good.
He's referring to the R multiple.
Yeah, but just
Yeah.
What about the rest of y'all? We have 67% rate. I would like to know what are your
92.6. 92.6 or 8. Something like that.
I haven't even looked.
Yeah, like TradeZilla.
No,
I haven't looked at that shit.
I sell options, so it's very vastly different.
Yeah, I don't.
When I bought
80,
options, that probably was like
80%
50.
maybe.
Probably give or take. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it matters about the win
Yeah,
rate.
it doesn't.
The win rate doesn't mean
It's your
anything if
risk
you're on
management.
Yeah, it
multiples.
doesn't, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But he asked a question about like what's the coolest thing you guys have like done with like trading. I think that's a really good question because there's a lot of cool things I've been able to do. I've like grown up. I'm a big watch guy, so I've grown like a watch collection because I really like watches. But the more I think about it, and maybe it's with age, like the older you get, like I'm a big shoe guy. We talk about shoes a lot, right? A lot of shoes, a lot of watches.
Shit.
But but the more I think about it, it's like, it's not even about what you can buy with trading. It's just about what you can do with it. So like today we took Meta for 200%. And then we were like, hey, we could be done for the day now. You take 100% on SPX, and you're like, I'm done for the day. And what are we doing now? Whatever we want to do for the rest of the day. It's a Friday. People that go to work every single day, what are they doing? Well, got to be here for another 4 hours. Then when I'm done, I got to go home and, make sure all this stuff's done. And maybe I can go out and eat dinner after that. Us, we're like, hey, like we're done for the day. Like, yeah, we were done. We were done like, at 9 o'clock in the morning here, So that's really, I think that's the biggest flex that you can get from trading. You can flex a Lambo, you can flex everything you want to, but the lifestyle flex of like, I can live life on my own terms. I don't have to take PTO. I don't have to answer to my boss or anything like that. That's the biggest thing. It's just what it affords you the ability to do.
I would say I'm just comfy. I'm comfortable as hell in my finances. I don't worry about bills. I can go to the grocery store and I don't worry about what's in the cart. That to me is like, that's awesome, bro. It's awesome, bro. Like
For me, I've never had that issue, like worried about money, but now I'm at the point where these funds have to go towards helping other family members. I can't work. If I work a job, it's only good enough for me and my 3 children. But when you're trading these type of profits, bro, they get to take care of family members.
For sure, bro.
Who can't even work anymore.
For sure.
So that's
awesome.
When I take these losses, yeah, just like you said, it's stupidity. Like it's straight emotional stupidity.
Yeah.
And it's all about my risk management. I risk too much because when I was risking about 1,200 per trade, bro, I was good because my other trades, they would replace the losses, from profits, right? But when I started to start risking more, like 3,500, 45, oh my God. A 50% loss on those, it's hard to recover from 2 or 3 of those when I'm used to just getting 1 win, 1 loss, and I'll break even. I'll take the next trade, I'll win on it. But when I'm down on 3 trades, 50%, 40%, and they're equaling, 7,500, let's say, that shit stays.
Yeah.
And, it really goes against everything I stand for with trying to help my family out.
Being able to help family is a wonderful thing, man. It's the most rewarding. I've moved my grandmother from New York to Florida so she could retire peacefully in a place she wants to live. I bought my mom a car. I've donated hundreds of thousands to schools and charities, and me and my wife work with children with autism, and we give back. And that's one thing I love about the trading community too. If you follow a lot of the social media side of it, like that I do, a lot of us are content creators. Some of us aren't, but the second part of my business is content creation. And we give, you can follow a whole bunch of those guys that just give back. And even though they're doing it, you get the great debate. They're doing it on film. They're not doing it on film. Who gives a fuck? They're making a change for someone's life. Right. You think that lady in Walmart who I handed $3,000 to gives a fuck she was on camera or not? No, she is feeling blessed and her kids, and she gets to take care of her family and provide. And so that's one thing I really love about the trading community that we got going on right now is being able to give back to our families. And your family don't gotta be blood. Your family could be a stranger that you just met.
I can take care of myself. I can make money in all kinds of different ways, but the type of profits that trading options produces, bro, I can hit my mom off at 500, 1,000, it doesn't hurt, and we can go get that right back tomorrow. So yeah.
You're like, that's a scalp for me.
Or you could revenge trade and blow 30.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing in the world. Or I could get absolutely fucking dusted. Yeah.
And then mom was like, you got that 500 still?
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely not.
You ever heard of ODTE SPX, Mom?
Yeah. I'm actually working my HELOC paper after on my house so I can get back in the game, you know?
You're right.
Yeah, but all right, guys. Well, appreciate it. Appreciate everybody on stream.
Killing it, boys.
Good shit.
Killing it as always, boys. It's a good cue.